code for a free demo.
As a part-time traveling notary with a full-time job, balancing everything can be tough, especially when you're getting calls at all hours. That's where Sabrina AI comes in. Think of Sabrina as your personal assistant who answers every call, handles appointment bookings, provides quick answers to common questions, and filters out non-urgent inquiries. Sabrina works 24/7 so you never miss a client opportunity, even when you're tied up with your full-time job. With this system, you can keep things running smoothly without the stress of managing calls yourself, giving you more time to focus on your work, clients, and everything else life throws your way.
Scan the QR code for a free demo.
As a part-time traveling notary with a full-time job, balancing everything can be tough, especially when you're getting calls at all hours. That's where Sabrina AI comes in. Think of Sabrina as your personal assistant who answers every call, handles appointment bookings, provides quick answers to common questions, and filters out non-urgent inquiries. Sabrina works 24/7 so you never miss a client opportunity, even when you're tied up with your full-time job. With this system, you can keep things running smoothly without the stress of managing calls yourself, giving you more time to focus on your work, clients, and everything else life throws your way.
Scan the QR code for a free demo.
Peace, peace, peace. This is your international sales and marketing hit, man. Your hip-hop sales coach, Tiger Toledo, and you already know what it is, man. You rocking with the best, you heard? What up, Tech?
What's up?
Man, I'm going to change my intro. I was thinking about this last night. I got to flex because a couple of these cats, man, they out here, man, thinking I ain't do shit in this industry, Tech. So I'm gonna say peace, peace, peace. This is your 3-time best-selling author, Tiger Toledo, co-founder of Sabrina AI, and you already know what you're rocking with, man. You rocking with the best. You heard?
I like it. That's fly.
I got to move it around, man. I've been saying that intro since 2007.
Wow.
Yeah, that's since 2007. But hey, you know what? I just thought of it, man. You don't have an intro, Tech.
I don't have an intro. I wish I did.
Do one off the fly, man. Nigga, I knew you used to rap. hit one off jump. Let me see what you come up with, man.
Hey, it's Tekamaku, quick to sock you. and if you're not careful, I'm gonna rock you.
I like it.
But in all seriousness, yeah, I was just saying Mr. Notary on Automation. Mr. Notary on Automation.
There it is. There it is. You already know what it is, ladies and gentlemen. We blizzack. Like cook, coke, crack, like Tech would say, like a chiropractor. We back.
But check this out though. When I was in high school, I did have a name. Automatic was my nickname.
Stop.
I swear, which is kind of it's fitting, right? Given what we do. I was on the basketball team. I was automatic from the free throw line, so these call me automatic.
Automatic turned into automation. And give it up. Give it up. Yo, hey man, you might have been walking your purpose a long time ago, bro.
Right.
Truth be told, man. So what are we chopping it up about today, man? What's going on today? I know we have a new segment. Oh, yes, that's right. We're talking about I got 2 phones.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know, it was what day was that, man? What day was that we talked? I was over
Monday.
by the casino that day. Yeah. So listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. So he opened my eyes, and here, this is very important because a lot of this stuff is really mindset. And if you're not nimble, if you are not flexible and have an open mind to different concepts, you may get stuck on the same marketing plan that no longer works in the notary industry. So me and Tech was chopping it up. It was late night or whatever, and we were talking about the two phone concept and Sabrina, and the conversation went like this. I was like, all right, well, Tech, how strong do you feel about the two phones and because now you would have three lines, right? You would have one for your personal and one for your business, which I highly recommend. One for your personal, one for your business. But when you have a second phone just for your business, this is what Tech helped me realize, is that it still acts like the first phone, because if you're not able to answer that call, it goes directly to voicemail. And now you're chasing the client again. But with Sabrina attached to it, which would be the third phone number, she captures the information, she continues the customer journey, she and then she closes the deal. That is what she's designed to do. So it took me a while to actually realize that, because I was like, all right, well, I got a second phone, I'll just answer it. But I remember when I had a second phone, I would get caught up in the gym. Like sometimes I would be taking care of the baby, or I'm in dinner, or I'm in a movie, and I wouldn't be able to answer that call. So elaborate a little more on that, Tech. I just gave a little sample.
No, you did great. That's exactly what the sentiment is. I can't quite bring myself to convince people to do it. I'm done with that. I'm long gone. I'm past those days of trying to convince people that the second phone is the second step you should do. It's like the second thing you need to do. And I'm always a little bit reserved in how I use the word need. Like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. Because that's not true. You don't need to do anything. You do whatever you want to do. It ain't none of my business, man. But the first thing I always ask people is, do you have a reliable vehicle? The reliable vehicle is an internal symbol. It's an internal signal to yourself that in the event that somebody calls, like right now, and let's just say I'm not doing anything, I'm just sitting on the couch with my feet up. I wasn't planning on making no money. I wasn't planning on leaving the house. Maybe I'll go outside, do something, but somebody calls and says, listen, can you come to the airport right now and then sign this proof of life form? Can you go at the drop of it? Do you have a reliable vehicle that it'll start up? You ain't got to go borrow a car. You don't have to go put gas in anything. The tire ain't flat or it has a slow leak on it. Do you have a reliable vehicle? That's number one. If you have a reliable vehicle, like for example, there's I remember I was talking to this notary out in Maryland. She borrowed, her and her husband, they shared a car. So she was very hesitant to take certain notary appointments or to implement some of the automation strategies, because she needed to know, like most loan signing agents, they need to know days in advance that I have an appointment at 3:00 on Friday.
Wow.
So I can get prepared for it. So I can read up on the documents. So I can print and put tabs on all the papers. But when you're doing it on automation, 86% of the appointments are same day appointments. And
That's
you know
right.
how powerful that is. And it's lucrative. It's not like somebody else is calling the shots. It's your playing field. But if you don't have that reliable vehicle, man, you'll be so uneasy about whether or not you can say yes. See, me, I can say yes to everything. Like you say yes to, you don't say no to nothing.
No, because and I like what you just said too. The concept of saying yes to everything forces you out of a comfort zone to figure out a plan and put you in problem solving mode. If you say no, you're basically just shoving. You're not using your critical thinking mass in your brain, which is the most powerful tool that God has given mankind, the world, the planet. So because you're shunning away problems, you become very weak, like a person that doesn't work out at the gym. You become very weak and you cannot solve problems quickly. So saying yes, it forces you to seek solutions, to problem solve. And ladies and gentlemen, with AI today, there's really not too many problems we can't solve. Facts.
Straight up. You're
I'm
right. You
jacked
put
right
yourself
now,
in the
bro.
corner, man.
I'm
Hey, it must
jacked
be the
right now.
lights. It must be those.
I don't know, bro. Man, I'm ready to run some numbers, B.
Nah, man, we here to help people. We here to set the notary world on fire, man. This is what we've always done, and this is what we want to continue to do. And I hope that's what people come to expect from us. They gonna always hear something different. They're gonna always hear the realness. They're gonna always hear something that they can go out and use like today. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to wait a whole year, or you don't have to put in weeks of work, months of work, chasing people. Nah, man, you go use this stuff like right now.
Put in that work now, real
You know what I'm
time.
saying? Yeah, so the reliable vehicle is number one. That was always one, but it's right after the reliable vehicle is, do you have the second dedicated cell phone? And most people say, yeah, I do. And I say, not Google Voice. No, not Grasshopper, not Ring Central, not all these third-party apps. And it was just a tough time just trying to convince people that once you have, just like the reliable vehicle, if you have a car and it works and you know it works and you know as soon as you put the keys in, it starts right up. You ain't got to worry about it sputtering out, dying on you, and now you're late to the appointment. But if you have the reliable vehicle, it works and you can go. It's just like with the cell phone. It's a signal to yourself. It really is. Like we talk about mindset, man. This is a completely different approach.
Mm-hmm.
Google Voice is not allowed. It's a second device is mandatory.
Yeah. Yeah, and not only that, Tech, the second device is still not enough. It's still not enough.
No, it isn't.
The fact that we both were in situations where before we use, and we're not going to mention those other apps or whatever because they ain't paying us for that, and we are eliminating them anyway because they do not have the notary industry in mind. They're actually really created for restaurants, to be honest with you. So what Tech and I did, we took third-party apps and integrated into the notary industry, which it wasn't intended for the notary industry, but we configured it and you know what? CallJoy doesn't even exist anymore. I'll even mention them. So CallJoy, for instance, when I was getting a lot of phone calls, I still can only answer one phone call at a time, even though I had a business line. That was, I called it the money phone, right? But I can only answer one phone call at a time. And there were many, 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 many times. And CallJoy didn't come up. They didn't exist until, I want to say 2020, right? But I was a notary by 2018. If I was getting a phone call, another phone call was coming through, I couldn't answer it. If I was at a notary appointment, me personally, I find it to be a bit rude to answer a sales call while I'm with a client. So I wouldn't answer that either. Sometimes I would be, again, with the family and stuff. So the second phone, although effective because it allowed me to, screen the call, give a professional greeting and everything like that, I still was missing out on a lot of business. So therefore, I went to an app called CallJoy, which doesn't exist anymore. That's why we created Sabrina. And CallJoy was able to answer those calls while I was on a phone or at an appointment. Now, here's the thing that people may overlook. It took me 3 months to configure that thing, Tech.
Wow.
3 months. Like, this wasn't like overnight. I had to understand the customer journey. This is why I fucking love Sabrina, because it has we put so much insight and strategy into her that she's infallible, bro. We have members currently right now closing deals with Sabrina, and they never talk. It's mind-blowing when you think about it. If you're used to grunt, where you feel like you constantly have to answer the phone to close a deal, you're working backwards.
Yeah.
You're working backwards in 2025.
Yeah. If you can't say yes to every single person who calls you, because think about it, when you go to Starbucks, they don't turn you away.
No. They'll give you all an alternative. I've seen many people go into Starbucks and say, "Can I just get a cup of coffee?" Okay, they'll be like, "What kind of coffee are you looking for?" Right? And these are people that never been to Starbucks before, and they're completely confused. They're like, "I just want a cup of coffee." Starbucks don't just say, "All right, well, you're go to Dunkin' Donuts and just get a cup of coffee." They're gonna give you some well, are you looking for blonde roast, or are you looking for dark roast? Like, you have options, man. Options are good. If you have an option of, can I get a Lexus, a Maserati, a Lamborghini, it's nice to have those options. Sabrina allows you to free up your time so you can have options. The reason why I got CallJoy, and when CallJoy went out of business, I wound up getting a virtual assistant, was because my options were becoming limited, Tech. And what I mean by that is that my time was being so consumed by this thing right here that I could not position myself on a visionary level to implement new strategies, new things that would actually help grow and scale the business.
Nah, I can't do it.
When your time is occupied like that, it is very difficult to think outside the box. I'm just letting you know. If you have a salary job, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They occupy all of your damn time. And then even when you go home, you're still on call. I hated that feeling. So again, man, like we're listen, you guys don't have to try Sabrina. Like we're good on this end. This software is gonna do what it do. We already have a designated goal. We have great members, great community that's a part of this. We just want to give you guys an option to look outside of the normal and see what the future has in store for you. When you really start scaling your business and you start doing what Tech does with Google Ads, and your phone is ringing constantly off the hook, you start looking for the exit out of that role.
That's a great point.
Take it.
No, that's a great point, man.
I'm clapping at these niggas, B.
I liken it to the loan signing agent who is looking for more and more and more business. They want more signings. But think about this. It's you doing the signings. You are working more and more and more signings. So there's a loan signing agent who I called up, and I asked her if she would be available for a single signature document in the city of Oakland. And it's $130 and it pays $50. One signature, in, out, stamp and go. And She didn't answer the phone. She called me back and said, I'm in an appointment right now. Can I call you back later? And I said, no. I need a notary right now. I'm like a client. I'm like a client. That's what a client would say. That's how a client would behave. I need a notary right now. I need a solution right now. I'm not looking for you to maybe be available 10 minutes from now. If somebody is available right now, then they're probably going to get the business. So imagine how that feels when you're driving and you can't answer the phone because it's illegal to drive with your phone in your hand in your state. Imagine if you're using your iPhone as navigation and then the phone rings and it tells you you're 6 minutes away from your destination and you don't know which way to go.
Right.
But you just let a phone call slip right through the cracks again. It's all about mindset. It's all about, are you willing to lose out on money and lose out on business? Is it worth it to you? I remember you asked me the question. You said, when you have that second phone and you're out at the movies or out at dinner or doing something else, is it like a mode that you go into? And I was like, yeah, you're right. That second phone is like, it's like you, like Superman, you just, that bat signal just comes on and all of a sudden you switch. You can actually transform into a different mode. You got the professional greeting. You go into your sales mode. You go into your hunting mode. And now you going after the client. It's like you can turn it on, you can turn it off. And that phone that has that distinctive ringtone, that's the signal. It tells you you're conditioned, you're training yourself to go into the where do you live, how many signatures are on a document, who's all there, do they have valid form of ID? Like I can recite this stuff off the, like you can slap me at 3 o'clock in the morning and pour hot water on my face and I'll still be able to recite the Sabrina call script, man. It's because I condition myself to be like, and I can turn it off. I can turn it off. And then I can turn it right back on. So it's like a mode that, let's put it this way. You ever call somebody and then you catch them off guard? It's like as if they wasn't ready for you. They didn't expect you to call. They're like, oh man, you completely caught me off guard.
Yeah.
Now, with this, it's like the margins are so, it's like for us, the margins are really great, but for some people, the margins are so thin and so tight. How could you afford not to take advantage of any time your phone rings? Like what kind of business are you running where you just give away clients? Like Starbucks isn't letting you walk out the door without coffee. Why would you let people come inside of your notary business and then just walk right out?
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, yeah, you know, you're not treating your business like a real business at that point. you are just operating. You're not you're not capturing all of the potential business that you should be capturing. You know, I think back at when I worked at Bally Total Fitness, dude, we would give out 3-day guest passes in order to get as much business as possible, right? And I would walk through the trains in Chicago on the Red Line, passing out 3-day passes because we were that proactive and that aggressive with it. So imagine a person that comes and asks me, excuse me, a person that comes and asks for me at the health club. You think I'm going to turn that person away?
No.
Like I'm already proactive. I'm already hunting for business. So a person that is willingly coming to me to offer me business, I can't turn that away We call that a lay down.
Come on now.
That's a person that just lay down and say, take my money.
Yeah. You don't
You
want
know
those.
what I'm saying?
You don't want those at all.
If you don't want to lay down, I don't know what's going on with you, man. If you don't want a client that just wants to give you money, you're in the wrong field. Entrepreneurship is not for you. That is the icing on the cake. That is a clear testament of your hard work shining through.
No,
When
I'm
they
saying
say-
you want those. You don't want those because it doesn't strengthen that muscle that you
That
absolutely
is true.
need.
That's
win,
100% true.
But
Absolutely.
you'll take them though. You'll take them though.
Oh, yeah.
Easily you'll take them. But you know,
And those don't come often, though. That's the thing, right? Now, the notary business, you put a couple of things together, man. You can have your phone juking like a Chicago house party, man.
Yeah.
You could really get it popping with just a couple of implementations of a few things, like a Google My Business or Google Ads, and just getting in the right network and networking with the right company, law firm, whatever, real estate company or whatever. You could really have your phone moving in a very short period of time. But you have to be ready on both sides. You have to be proactive and reactive as well. When somebody calls you, what happens, man, if you can't answer that phone? That's like turning down a lay down.
wow.
Oh, that hurts, bro. Trust me, I've been there. It hurts on a whole different level, Tech. Before I had my commission, my phone was on and popping, but I could not I couldn't run those appointments, and people were literally just throwing money at me. I can't find anybody. Can you come? Can you send somebody? And it was hurtful. It was very hurtful.
I can't imagine, man. Oh my God.
Oh, in the pit of my stomach. It was, like after a couple of days, you're like, wait a minute, like I just lost $200-300 just now. And again, exercising that muscle, that critical thinking, it pushes you to find some solutions. So, yeah, you guys, this industry is not difficult. It's not hard. You're not doing any weird coding and stuff like that. Setting up
a shout out to
yeah.
If I give a shout out to, there was a loan signing agent that I reached out to, and he straight up denied it. Like he straight up talked himself right out of the job. Matter of fact, he lied.
Really?
And
Okay.
yeah, he admitted that he
that.
lied. I asked him, I said, hey man, you available for a single signature document in the city of Oakland at 1:30? And he says, no, I gotta be in San Jose at about 1:30, which is about 45 minutes away. And he said, man, but I appreciate it, man. Thanks for calling. I said, okay, no problem. And I just hung up. I kid you not, no longer than 2 minutes later, he called me back and said, because I recognized the number. I said, I just called this number. And then it was him.
Okay.
And and he says, hey man, it turns out that I am available. Is that 1:30 still? Is it available to be offered? I said, yeah, it is. He says, oh man, I'll be honest. He confessed. He said, I'll be honest. I was nervous. I never got a call like that.
Really?
Yeah, and he said I was gonna just go down to my brother's house, and but I decided to talk myself, to motivate myself to go ahead and do it. And I want to give a shout out to people who approach it like that. Like there are people like Tiger. Come on now, be real. You know that there are people who look at their phone and they be like, "Oh, this might be a notary client. Let me go straight to voicemail. Let me avoid this." Then, man, you know that there are people like that. So,
yeah,
to hear him do the opposite. Well, matter of fact, he did do it, right? He did lie and say that he wasn't available, and then, but he called me back.
That's the comfort zone, bro. If you were to talk notary business aside for a second, right? If you were to talk about the type of mindset you would have to be an entrepreneur, like what could you say about that? What can people expect? Because we get a lot of new shout out to the next generation notaries. Salute to you guys. Salute to you guys. You guys understand Sabrina. You guys really, really rock with Sabrina on that one. But what would you tell new people that are embarking on being a entrepreneur? What can they expect?
You know,
mindset wise.
I had to really understand what that word even meant. Like, there's notaries who don't even know what a notary is. I'm real, man. There's notary publics who don't know what a notary public actually is.
Mm-hmm.
You ask them, what is a power of attorney? They don't know what a power of attorney really is. You ask them, what is a certificate of trust? What is a and here's the thing. You don't have to study documents to death. You don't have to pass some type of exam so that you know every single thing out there. So I say that to say, when you talk about that word entrepreneur, well, what does that mean? It's not the same thing as a business owner. It's not the same thing as an employee. It's not the same thing as being self-employed. The word entrepreneur, you ready for this? Let me teach you guys something. The word entrepreneur isn't somebody who goes out and works for themselves. That's not an entrepreneur. Did you guys know that? I had to learn this myself. An entrepreneur is somebody who finds the solution, the team who puts together the moving parts so that they can accomplish the goal. Give you a quick example. The franchise model. The person who buys a franchise, the person who goes and buys a Janitor King, a franchise of janitorial services to clean up commercial buildings. The entrepreneur, he's just, or she's just finding the business model. They found or identified people who need the floors vacuumed. They need the windows washed. They need the trash to be taken out. And now what they've done is they've either created it themselves, created this step-by-step process themselves, or they just, if I'm sticking with the same analogy of the Janitor King, they just found somebody who already else did it. And then they just inserted that whole step-by-step process. And now they've given other people jobs, they've employed them, they've been able to make some income for themselves, right? That is the entrepreneur. So when I hear this word, the notary entrepreneur, you gotta be careful, man. Words have meanings.
Absolutely. You can manifest things immediately from your words.
Yeah, 100. And if you say the wrong thing, if you speak to yourself in the wrong way, and if you are like tricking yourself into believing something that's not true, you're like redefining it to make it fit the way you think about it it can be dangerous. It can be dangerous. It can be advantageous in some respect too, but it can be dangerous as well because all of a sudden now you get confused. Now all of a sudden you're calling yourself a business owner and you don't actually have a business. That was the scary thing with loan signing, that I always saw people calling themselves business owners. And loan signing is not a business. It's not. It can't be. By definition, it can't be a business. A business is something that doesn't require you to be present. It's just that simple. Listen, man, there ain't no confusion about it. It ain't no, I don't say that to begrudge people or to, make people feel some type of different way about that. Bro, that's what it is. How are you going to call yourself a business owner and you are doing all of the appointments?
Right, you're the
You are sending
bottleneck.
all the, yeah.
From top to bottom, you're the facilitator, the notary, the operations manager, the booking agent. You're everything. Yeah, you're right. And then and you know who I'm talking about when I mentioned this. That there's a notary. I mean, extremely well versed in loan signing. I mean, like, he could run circles around the gurus if he wanted to. If you gave him a platform, he's that knowledgeable about it. But he became so knowledgeable about it that he felt like nobody can perform the job that he was doing. Therefore, he had to run and facilitate every single appointment himself, to the point, and we talked about it before, he burnt out, he fizzed out. It was too much to manage, because as he would do impeccable work for these companies, guess what the companies did? They wanted to use him over and over and over again. Now, if you keep a stellar record like that, you're going to have more and more companies wanting to do business with you. So now his workload is increasing. Of course, his income is increasing as well, but he only can do so much himself. He was losing himself. He lost touch with who he was. It was a constant grind, a constant hustle. And if you grind something enough, that shit becomes dust.
That's real.
He became dust to the point where he no longer does it right now.
Bro, how many times can you repeat that story? I mean, I love the story of the teacher I worked with. She was, man, my screen just went to sleep. The teacher, she was a loan signing agent, and man, I would call her up. I'll be like, "Hey, you available for this one signature document?" I mean, this is like the fifth time I said that. I love that line. I use that word, and that's another sign of a business. It's the same thing over and over and over and over. It's literally the same thing. Yeah, are you available for a signature document? We know what works, but we know what doesn't work. We can hone in on what doesn't work, what needs to be tweaked, and we can identify it. But to go back to the story, yeah, this teacher, she was a teacher, and she stopped being a teacher. She quit, and she became full-time loan signing agent. Shout out to her, man. But over time, stop me if you've heard this story before. Over time, I mean, think about this. Even the finest tuned machine, if you just redline it, just revving it, keep on revving it, eventually the gears are going to just wear down. And
that's right.
You ain't no different.
That's right.
Ain't no different, man. You keep doing all of that stuff.
Your body is no different from the brakes on your vehicle. Keep grinding on your brakes and see what happens. Your ass is going to be pumping the hell out of them shits going down the hill looking for an off-ramp. Oh, shit! Out of control. But Tech, you know what time it is?
What time is it?
It's time for the Money Corner, baby. This is the new segment. This is a new segment. Now, want the blood clot. You ain't bringing it back. The money segment, man.
Dirty engineer boy. Circle it. Circle it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Money Corner with Tech Amaku. We're adding a brand new segment because you guys are way more than just notaries. You are entrepreneurs. You are self-employed. You are visionaries. And we want you to get your money right as well as get your business right. So at this segment, Tech Amaku is going to take over.
Hey, guys. I'm excited to talk about some of these concepts that none of us were taught. Listen to me, fam. Vibe with me for a second. How many years did you go to school? I'll tell you, if you went to school 12 years, you probably was involved in the United States health, I mean, not health, but the education system here in the States. You might be listening to this in a different country. Maybe you went to school somewhere else. But for most of us who are listening here stateside, we probably went to school for 12 years and you graduated and you probably maybe heard a little bit of here and there about a credit card, a little bit here and there about savings. Maybe you heard a little bit about retirement. Some of these concepts are completely foreign to us. The things that we've taught, the things that we were taught and we learned, probably was passed down from someone in our family, if we were even that lucky. So one of these segments, I'm really going to dig into some of the concepts in the financial industry, in the financial services industry, that puts you ahead, not just allows you to make money, but allows you to make it work. You see, a lot of us don't have an income problem. A lot of us have a savings problem. You ever think about that? You don't have an income problem. You have no problem going out and making money. You know how to get a job. You know how to go outside and put some work in and make money. But has anyone ever sat you down, really, and like taught you just how to save it? And I'm not talking about just stuffing it in a mattress and putting it in the walls and putting and stuffing envelopes. I'm talking about if you needed to save $500, could you do it? So most people would say probably yeah. And if I ask you, well, how would you do it? Then they'll probably say, I go get another job. I go get a second job. Okay. So let's say you go get a second job, but your habits stay the same. Have you solved the problem? No. See, you don't have an income problem. You have a savings problem. And I'm not talking about eating beans and rice. I'm not talking about going on a beans and rice diet and living, you know, well below your means. I'm talking about living the current existing lifestyle that you're used to and changing your approach to how to save money. So this is why this money corner is something that I was, I couldn't say no. I'm gonna share some of the things that has worked out for me, some of the things that I've learned, and some of the things that people who I know who are well off, people who are really well off, and some people who are really, really well off, and some of the things that I've learned from them. And the thing I want to really share to you guys and really hammer home is that it doesn't really matter how much money you have. The whole idea of you being rich or being poor is really not associated with a number. It's not tied to an exact number. There's people who make $1 million a year and they don't have, and they're broke. You're like, well, how could that be? How can somebody make $500,000 a year and still be broke? I can share with you. I know a guy who works for Amazon. He works for the here in Silicon Valley. Works at Amazon. He makes $400,000 a year, 430 to be exact. Young guy too, 27 to be exact. $430,000 a year. Broke at the end of the month, doesn't have anything left over. Again, don't have an income problem. It's not that. You have a savings problem. That's what it is. And you might be thinking, if I had $430,000 a year, I wouldn't be broke. Yeah, you might be saying that to yourself. But again, the faster it comes in, the faster it goes. If you don't know how to save it. And I'm not talking about stuffing it in the drawer and putting it in envelopes and eating beans and rice. I'm talking about making the money work. So, we'll talk about taxes. And by the way, I am licensed by the state of California Department of Insurance to talk about certain financial concepts. So you're not just talking to any old body. I know how anybody can get on TV, anybody can get on YouTube, anybody could get on Instagram and just say any old damn thing. That's not what we're doing here. We're responsible. We are not teaching you get rich quick schemes. We're showing you guys how to make money in the notary industry. We're showing you guys how to keep it on the financial concept side, financial services side. And in addition to that, we want to see you guys eventually grow. We want to see you guys thrive. And that's something that it transcends the notary. This notary stuff is easy, right, Tiger? This stuff is easy, man. We can do this stuff.
Simple.
It's
Very simple.
Like, this is just a vehicle in which we use. It's just a concept in which we use. But what would it be? Who would we be if we didn't teach you how to rescue yourself?
That's a fact.
Who would we be, man? How could we talk to the family members if we're not teaching them how to get themselves up out of their situations? We would just be some damn old people who on the streets, salespeople who always
cornball content creators out there. That's what we'd be, bro. Some clout chasing content creators that you guys are just waiting to see these niggas crash out. We're not them cats.
Not at all. Not at all. We're not, man. There's people who won't give you any information. You see them living their lives and they won't share nothing with you. They ain't gonna tell you nothing. That the way I was taught, the way I was brought up, the lesson that I was learned was that it don't even matter unless you tell somebody. It don't matter unless you were able to pass the information on. It doesn't even matter. So, and again, this stuff is not. I mean, it's just interesting to me because there's people who have the approach. They're happy for you. They're genuinely happy when another person is successful and then they've grown. And I've adopted that approach. I like the fact that when I can say something or help somebody and they can then help themselves. And it really be just simple stuff. It really just be small stuff. So, that's just an introduction about what the Money Corner is going to be about. We don't want to throw too much at you in one session, but hopefully this evolves into something that's a little bit, we'll see how people are involved, how people are take a liking to it. And, we're going to always show up. We just going to continue showing up. And you just want to see, get the feedback, see how the people, see how they walk away with some of the ideas, some of the concepts. Like I said, just like notary stuff, man, we going to give you stuff that you can use, you can implement today. You ain't got to wait a year or weeks. Nah, man. We're going to give you guys stuff that you can work with.
Not the engineer, boy. Circle it. Circle it.
Yeah, you guys. So that's just a sample of the Money Corner that's coming to you guys. We're gonna. Again, Tech is licensed to talk about financial affairs. He's shared some concepts with me that has revolutionized my mind of thinking. I can't wait for him to talk about velocity banking, which is a game changer. But again, you have to be radically open-minded to this stuff to be willing to change your mindset and understand how money really works, how it moves. We weren't taught this by family members. We weren't taught this in school. Thank goodness for places like EYL and, they're bringing on financial, but we've been putting in this work too. If you guys look at any of our past episodes of the Notary War Room, we've brung in lawyers that had nothing to do with the notary industry. Shout out to Herbert Patty. Shout out to Joy Hunt. We've brung in financial business credit people like London Dagans, and Tech is going to take the lead on the Money Corner. So this is something that we're bringing to our audience because we're multidimensional. We're not, you know what I mean? We're not just one-sided, like it's either black or white. Like we're multidimensional. self-employed, if you were to ask me what does self-employed mean, it means self-discovery. And you discover yourself, you discover your faults, your hangups, your demons, your angels. You discover so much about yourself that you either sit and wallow in those pits if you want, or you start going out and you start seeking assistance and help from the people that can act, that are qualified to do those things. So I'm really excited about that. And if you guys have not booked a demo with Sabrina, the link was right there at the bottom. Go ahead and book the demo. Scan that QR code with Sabrina. Sabrina is the future in notary business. She does what she does. And just to give you guys a taste of what she does, this is what you guys can expect from Sabrina real quick. What we have done, we have put together a software that does phone automations, meaning that she will answer the phone for you, and her goal is to close the deal.
That's it.
I'm going to repeat that. Her job is to close the deal. Her job is to take a phone call and make that person into a client. So you'll get Sabrina to actively answer your phone for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you ever had a VA like I have, you already know you're saving thousands of dollars just off of that. Then for those that do not have, shout out to Trusty Bowden on Instagram that just said, he said, dope stuff. I just got started in my notary journey, enjoying the content. Shout out to you, Trusty Bowden. Really appreciate that. This is for those notaries that are getting started, or maybe you're getting a lot of business and you can't handle that business. So you also get an optimized website. This website that you get from Sabrina, which is included in the package, has been battle tested.
Yes.
It is designed to funnel money. There's no thinking, no guessing game. Should I do this with it? Should I put this over here? Should I add a button? It's literally a turnkey website. All you need to do is change your phone number and change your logo. That's it.
That's it.
You're also going to get smart. Oh, go ahead, Tech.
No, that's it. I mean, that to me, listen, this AI stuff is going to hit people like they're like they've never seen it coming. It's already doing that. It's already doing it. Like people are getting like they never seen it coming. Like we were talking about the franchise owner earlier. When you can have an optimized website that it's not going to take you 2 weeks and speaking to somebody halfway around the world, and then somebody not doing it correctly, and then revising it. It's going to take you a weekend, maybe a few days longer than that, depending on how comfortable you are, to get this thing up and running. Like, it's just to me, that's one of the biggest.
Well, like I mentioned earlier, Tech. Look, it took me 3 months to configure CallJoy. I would still be configuring CallJoy right now, only because I know if I put in the work now, I don't have to work as hard later. So I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit about my time. Okay, I can't binge watch on Netflix right now for a weekend or two, or you know what I mean? So what? I'm structuring a business that is going to allow me to watch Netflix on my phone on a yacht. Tech, talk about the other two, the smart scheduling and agency mode, please.
Listen, man, do you know why they say speed kills? You know, there's a reason why people say speed kills. You cannot coach speed. You cannot teach speed. You can't substitute it. If I'm faster than you, there's no way that you can beat me. You can be bigger, you can be stronger.
That's right.
You can try to be smarter. right? But if I'm just moving faster than you, then there's just you cannot compete with that. So when you talk about smart scheduling, the the way that you answer a phone in terms of the professional greeting, in terms of disqualifying the caller, qualifying the caller, and then closing the caller is very systematic. When somebody calls for a notary appointment, they really only want one thing. You know what that is? Do you know what that is? When they call you, they only want one thing. In the smart scheduling, it integrates with your lifestyle. If you go to church on Sundays, like every Sunday, and then you go to church on Wednesday, and then you go to church on Friday, like there's some people who live their lifestyle. We're not telling you to stop living your lifestyle. Keep doing the stuff that makes you happy. You go to take your kids and they play volleyball on Saturdays, or you're in an adult men's league, or you're a part of a sorority and you guys meet on every Monday. You go swimming on Saturday. Whatever you do in your lifestyle, you work 9 to 5. Don't stop doing those things. If it makes you happy, right? If it don't make you happy, then maybe you should stop doing it. But if it makes you happy, do it. Sabrina is a smart scheduling system where it just molds around your life, so that way you don't have to stop doing the things you really enjoy, and you can still book appointments. The agency mode is 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 something that if you're not ready for, if you want to do all your appointments, do it. If you want to go out and execute all your appointments, go ahead. Like you were saying earlier with the example, you were saying that the person you were speaking about got so good at it that they didn't think that anybody would be better than them. I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of that. It took me a while to try to do what you and Andre have always taught, which is to open up an agency. And what it really takes to do that is to realize that, yeah, you are the best, and nobody's gonna ever be as good as you are. But that doesn't mean that you have to do everything. So the agency mode allows you to outsource the appointments, allows you to subcontract out. And here's the thing, though. Now it frees you up to take on more phone calls, to take on more higher level responsibilities. It frees up your time to now spend it with your family, or to go to work, or to go and visit the church, or go volunteer, or just to sleep. Or how about just to go to the bathroom in peace? Damn, I can't even sit on the toilet without, missing a phone call or having to reply to a title company. The agency mode frees up your time to do that. So those are my some of my some. I love everything about it, but I would have to say the agency mode is the unsung hero.
So, and then also you get the business phone number for those that don't have a business phone. Or we kind of covered that earlier. It's you have your personal phone, and then you have your business phone, but then you have the Sabrina line. The Sabrina line is what allows Sabrina to proactively take the phone calls, add it to your database, send texts, send follow-ups. Like, this is an automated system where your clients, your customers will believe that there's like a huge team that is working behind the scenes to make all of this happen. They'll receive emails, they'll receive text messages, follow-ups, hey, your appointment's coming up, that type of stuff. They'll receive links to book their appointment. It's that business phone number, it's not even a good name. You do get a business phone number, but there's a lot behind that business phone number, that Sabrina phone number, which brings to the next thing, your automated follow-up. Follow-up is huge. Money is in the follow-up. I can't tell you how much money I have recovered with follow-up text. If I missed a phone call, I would send what I call the heat-seeking missile. And that heat-seeking missile by itself recovered thousands of dollars for me. Now, imagine I had something that would automate that. I didn't have nothing to automate it at the time when I first started. Now I
Huge.
do.
Big time.
You know,
Big time player.
so it's a real game changer, y'all. It's nothing to sneeze at. We designed this for the notaries and the notaries only. You know. So if you'd like to book a demo, right here, there's a scan that QR code. If you're watching this on television, it looks really crispy. If you're watching it on your phone, just screenshot it and use your QR thing and to scan that code. There's a million ways you can scan that code, and it will take you to our booking page to book an exclusive demo. And we can show you exactly what she does in your business. She's what we would call a baddie. She's a bad bitch. Sabrina's a bad bitch, yo.
Word.
In a good way. In a good way. Tech, any last words, brother?
No, word up. I'm just saying, AI is here. It's here. It's. I mean, where you been? Where you been? Yeah. And if you're not, if you are a business owner, if that's what you are, you know, walking around calling yourself, referring to yourself as a business owner, and you are doing everything, you're not. Let me kind of. I hate to burst your bubble, but you're not a business owner if you're doing everything. But in nor should you want to do everything. Really, right? You don't want to do everything. You don't want to do all the phone calls. You don't want to send all the emails and write all the invoices and do all the follow-ups. Listen, one of the biggest things that I love doing is being able to demonstrate to the client that you can trust us. When we talk about notary is a money product, and when people are giving out their social security numbers and giving out sensitive information, bank account information, they welcoming you into their homes. They want to know that you are not just somebody random on the street who just figured this out yesterday and just trying to make a quick buck. They want to know that this is a business. They're looking for that. They're starving for that. That's why people go to Costco and they don't go to the, you know, it's convenient, but they don't go to the small store because they feel like the value isn't there. I mean, so if you're a one-person show, then at the my suggestion is to check it out. If you change your mind, change your mind. But I'll tell you one thing: if you live in certain cities in America, certain cities in certain states, there might be somebody right now who's eating your lunch. If you live in certain cities in Texas, certain cities in New York, certain cities in Philadelphia, certain places in California, you know, if you live in some cities, you better watch out, man, because people are going to get blindsided by AI. Yeah. And it's going to be like, I never saw it coming. Well, here it is right here, right now, in front of you right now.
Indeed. And with that being said, every Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen, tune in. We stream live on multiple channels, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. We stream live on all of those channels, simulcast, they would call it. We love your participation. Shout out to Trusty Bowden, book that demo. And, you know, we're going to continue to move forward, man. And we wish you guys the very best, peace, love, and happiness. And you already know what it is, man. You rock with the best.
As a part-time traveling notary with a full-time job, balancing everything can be tough, especially when you're getting calls at all hours. That's where Sabrina AI comes in. Think of Sabrina as your personal assistant who answers every call, handles appointment bookings, provides quick answers to common questions, and filters out non-urgent inquiries. Sabrina works 24/7 so you never miss a client opportunity, even when you're tied up with your full-time job. With this system, you can keep things running smoothly without the stress of managing calls yourself, giving you more time to focus on your work, clients, and everything else life throws your way.
Scan the QR code for a free demo.